And for our next debate, we have, by the Truth Seekers, is the Emoji Movie so bad it's good? And by the Big Baller Bread, is the Emoji Movie just plain terrible? Each team will have 1 minute to state their opening argument, starting with the Truth Seekers. Arian? 3,
On 3 or
2, 1, begin.
So obviously, obviously the Emoji Movie is not traditionally good. The acting is not well done. The jokes mostly fall flat. But if you come into it with the right mindset, and if you understand beforehand that you're not coming in for a quality piece of film, then you can see all of the ways in which it fails. And failure is amusing. You can see how it's the clear marketing campaigns to sell things like Candy Crush, and you can laugh at how bad they are and how stupid the Just Dance app Just Dance app is so dumb. And it's so strange that that's what they chose to market. There's a section where the emojis go into YouTube that's clearly trying to show how appealing it is.
All right, well, your moment is up, sadly. It is now time for the Big Baller Brand to state their opening arguments. Arian!
how much? 1?
1 minute.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, begin.
I do
It
understand.
didn't start yet.
Sorry. Yeah, it did.
It did start.
Wait, just restart.
Restart.
All right.
Way to go.
God.
All right, so I do understand
Begin.
what you're saying, but there is a fine line between pure boredom and just so bad it's good. You know, the movie Batman and Robin, the acting is cringy and the jokes are just so bad they're good. But here the jokes fall flat. They are forced. You can tell that the characters, the dialogue is setting up for jokes. For example, the meh emoji, whenever someone says, "Am I cool?" they always say, "Meh." You can tell how set up that is. And also, there's so much exposition in this movie. See, this is bad filmmaking, but it's not funny because it's just boring. I mean, all they're doing is telling you what's going on. Like, hey, we live in a world with emojis, and yeah, that's all they do the whole movie. And it's boring. It's not funny.
And also, I have to say is that since it's a movie, you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to pay to watch it, whether it be in theaters or like on demand. So no one is gonna pay to watch something that is intentionally bad. People might watch a YouTube video or something that's intentionally bad, but paying like $5 or even paying anything.
Well, I'm sorry, but your point has to be cut off because it is time for the Truth Seekers to rebut to the Big Baller Brand. Arian, please try to do it right this time. 3, 2, 1, begin.
So I agree that there's a lot of exposition in the Emoji Movie, but I think what's important is not the exposition itself, but sort of seeing how it's done and how they try and make it appealing, which just fails in the most amusing ways. For instance, the main character, Jean Meh, his parents, the joke for them is that they don't care what they're doing, but of course, because the actors themselves unironically don't care what they're doing, it changes from cringily boring to amusingly boring in an ironical enjoyment way. Do you have anything to add?
I haven't seen the Emoji Movie. I want to see
All
it.
you have to-
badly.
Way to go.
At least one gift for us to keep. Okay.
I mean, like, bad if it's good.
Thanks.
Alrighty.
It's bad if it's good.
Well, your rebuttal time is over. So, Arian? No, we have 1 minute for the Big Baller Brand to rebut to the Truth Seekers. 3, 2, 1, begin.
Now, I get what you're saying. The words amusing and boring don't go very well together. And I get what you mean when they're trying to just kind of make fun of things like YouTube. But let me tell you, the whole point of the movie is to get to an app called Dropbox. Who uses Dropbox anymore? I'm going to ask you that question, and you will say nobody, because it's such a dated app. So if kids watch YouTube, right? But what if half the kids won't even know what Dropbox is? So already that plot point, the whole point of the movie is kind of useless. It's kind of boring and it's kind of unknown. And The movie doesn't treat itself like a joke. It actually tries to have emotion with an entire subplot devoted to whether the Emoji's parents should get divorced or not. And as funny as that may sound, it's not. It's boring and it's annoying.
And one thing I have to add is that also many of the actors in the movie, the kids who are going to be watching it won't even know who they are, so they won't even really understand.
Well, your time for rebuttal's up, and it's time for free-for-all. Aryan?
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Watch your eye.
Oh, I'm sorry.
3, 2, 1, begin.
I think you're starting from fundamentally unsound premises. I don't think watching a movie for ironic enjoyment is something that's necessarily for kids. I think really the true audience of the Emoji Movie is edgy teens watching it for irony, and that's exactly the audience it's created. It's not the intentional audience from the director, but that doesn't matter. It's still managed to find an audience among the crowd who likes So Bad It's Good. And I mean, The Room tries to be dramatic. It tries to have intense dramatic moments. That doesn't stop them from being hilariously stupid.
I get what you're saying right here, but at the same time, I have to disagree with the fact that it's so bad that it's good. It tries to be a competent movie, and that is so true when you watch it. Because they actually the Just Dance sequence at the end has been done so many times in Rio and other movies in a much better way. So if you're a teen who likes animated movies, well, you can watch anything else, and you would get the same stuff in movies like Just Dance sequences, people flying and having kind of these creative sequences, but done much better than what the Emoji Movie did. So it's not funny, it's just bad filmmaking and it's boring.
And also, I guess going on that is that, yes, you're saying that it's audience stuff. The Emoji Movie made a lot of money, but we're also not debating that. So even the edgy teens who have seen it, yes, it has a big, you can say that a lot of them saw it, but it doesn't even mean that a lot of them are fans of it. A lot of people who even tried to see it ironically didn't end up enjoying it.
And even if the Emoji Movie made a decent amount of money, it wasn't a huge box office hit. The first week it came out, it was #2 in the box office. It was behind Spider-Man Homecoming, which came out 3 weeks before. So it wasn't that big.
A movie doesn't need to be good in the box offices to just be bad.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time we have. Aryan,
Yeah.
we will now pass to our judges.
Well, what I think is that despite the arguments put up by the So Good It's Bad team, I would have to agree that it's just plain terrible.
Well, I've seen movies that I have had hopes for, and they didn't really live up to it, but you can still get the punchlines in some movies. And I think that there is the possibility of it being so good that it's bad. Not so bad that it's good. So I think you guys are right.
I've watched the Emoji Movie, and I was not looking forward to it. But then once I watched it, it was so stupid that I found it hilarious. And for most of those reasons, too. It was just like, it seemed really cringy and bad with the jokes, but they're actually kind of amusing. So I will give it to the Truth Seekers.
Alrighty then, the Truth Seekers have won one round. It is now tied 1-1, and our tiebreaker round is the Truth Seekers arguing that the Earth is flat, and the Big Baller Brand arguing that the Earth is in fact round.